We did a porn version of The Story of the Eye, which at some point involved me putting like a whole egg in my pussy. You good girl. Oh, you boo, you boo, you boo. Hi, my name's Vex. I'm a porn performer and director. I was studying fine art at university and I was kind of interested to see if I could put the same consideration for aesthetics and concepts into films with sex as I was kind of already doing in my artwork. I want to communicate like the intensity and the atmosphere of like what having sex feels like, as opposed to maybe just the like graphic explicitness. Sex is really kind of like diverse, and it's really complicated, and it's too important to kind of just be co-opted by one particular way of doing things, and especially by like one particular website. I think that we need, you know, more diversity, like more perspectives, people making porn for reasons other than functional. For you just to like jerk off to and like delete your browser history. I think there's the potential in porn as a medium to kind of do and say a lot of different stuff that just isn't being explored at the moment. Basically, our whole team is just like, for the most part, 2 people, and you actually don't need a lot of technical equipment and a big team to make something that looks really good nowadays. I think that's like been really important for us, is to kind of keep it intimate and like very DIY. Yeah, it's really difficult. I think what you've got to do to kind of set yourself apart from tube sites is that you've really just got to be innovative. Like, you've got to be providing something that those things don't, whether that's like niche or production value or like a sense of personal connection. I think a lot of porn is becoming more personal. I think the issue really is that like there's still a stigma attached to being associated with porn. So I think we're maybe at a stage where people are quite happy to maybe admit that they watch it and they consume it for free, but they're not prepared to kind of be physically associated with it, which means that they're not willing to pay. And that means that that has a direct impact on like performers' welfare and also the quality of the content that you're able to see. Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I think I'm just trying to be like the best porn director for me as a porn performer. I actually like really think that like if you're a porn director and you're profiting off of the labor of porn performers, that you yourself should have performed in porn at least once, so that you can kind of understand what that's like.
Sorry, the tail now just doing that.
I'm comfortable with it. I think it's the reality of the work. I can't see into the future and see how it might affect me later on in life. I'm really lucky that I have a lot of creative control over like what goes out and what doesn't. And I think you have to really get into the mindset that whatever you're putting out there, you have to be really happy that it's going to be seen by anyone. So your parents, your grandma, your ex-boyfriends, everyone that you went to school with are definitely going to see it at some point. And so it means you kind of have to own it and be proud of it. We did a porn version of George Bataille's story called The Story of the Eye, which at some point involved me putting like a whole egg in my pussy. And then for the next like half an hour, me like squatting on the floor trying to lay it out again, while literally everyone else on set is just like in fits of laughter. So that's kind of like definitely my weirdest experience on my own porn set for sure. It's kind of like asking me to choose a favorite child. I have a lot of favorites. Like, I really like anything weird. So like anytime I get the opportunity to like pour gold paint on someone, or like latex, or like crack an egg on someone, though they're kind of like the most fun to shoot, because I think sex is pretty ridiculous anyway, and there's just like a kind of fun atmosphere to experiment with stuff like that on set. Hopefully, I see it as continuing to become more experimental, more independent, a range of new creators coming with different perspectives, with different outlooks, making more interesting, exciting content. But it's so difficult to be positive in this climate where it's actually still so difficult to be able to make a living putting sex on film. There are so many kind of laws that are coming into place to make that even more difficult. As much as I would really like to be positive about it, especially here in the UK at the moment, it's a really difficult climate to exist within. And I think the problem is that that's just going to mean that we're just stuck with like the same kind of like tired, old, repetitive formula that's just going to kind of keep being recycled. a better understanding of sex is vital to understanding ourselves and our own experience as human beings. It's sort of vital to how we interact, and it underpins like so much of our society that what we've done is we've used it and we've commodified it and we've kind of talked around it, but we haven't kind of explored it explicitly. And I think that that's led to a whole bunch of like misinformation and scaremongering, and it's had a direct impact on like the quality of people's like lives and their sex lives. You know, I think a demonization of porn sometimes comes with a demonization of masturbation. Porn's always going to exist. It's never going to go away. You're never going to be able to stop people being interested in looking at other people having sex. It's really fun.
No, I can't. Please, yes. It's like a